Hello, everyone. It's Jenny here coming in with an update on my HCG journey. This time around, I don't even know what attempt this is. I've had one very successful, no, I've had two successful rounds of HCG, and I've had a lot of failed attempts. But this one is going to be another successful one because it has to be, because honestly, we're 2 weeks in and I still weigh more than what I normally weigh when I start HCG. And I usually only start HCG when I feel extremely overweight and I need to do something extreme to jumpstart my weight loss. So we're in a bad, bad place after COVID and Thanksgiving and Christmas. And my girls both being home for a month. We just had a food fest. And you know what? I don't regret everything I ate while the kids were all home. I do regret making poor choices in my own time during COVID leading up to the holidays. That's what I regret. So I'm paying the price now, and here we go. Today are days number 11 and 12, I think. 12 and 13. Days 12 and 13 on the diet. And I didn't have a chance to get online yesterday. I actually felt terrible yesterday. I don't know what it was. It was very, very weird. It was kind of like, have you ever I had a headache that wouldn't go away all day. Like not a migraine, but like a dull, annoying headache. And I was just living on acetaminophen or ibuprofen or whatever I could get my hands on every 4 hours or so to try to alleviate it. I slept a lot. I normally get enough sleep, so it wasn't like I needed a catch up. But like after I'd wake up from sleeping when I normally take a nap, and I often take a nap because I frequently work a split shift and I only get like 6 hours of sleep at night. So I'll take an hour or two nap during the day. I always feel good afterwards and then like ready to get going again. And yesterday I just laid in bed for probably another hour and a half and then struggled to get out of bed and then took some more aspirin and that. So I felt at one point like I just wanted something different, like I just needed a little something sweet. So I had some of the keto nut stuff and it started to make me feel a little bit better. And then I ate a little bit more. I probably should have stopped the minute I started feeling better. Probably ate too much of it. And then I think my body maybe rebelled from that because then I started feeling like, at first I felt like I had the headache that you get from carb withdrawal, which, I'm a week and a half into this, so that's not an issue anymore. That only happens in the first couple days. So I know it wasn't that, but that's kind of what it felt like. After taking the keto nuts and all that, all of a sudden, then I started feeling like I was on a sugar high kind of headache thing, and I just then thought I was craving protein. Um, it was just crazy weird. I realized that I'm congested on the left side of my nose, and as I was sleeping last night, I noticed it was hard to breathe. And now as I was laying in bed in the evening, I thought, I think I'm just coming down with a cold. Don't believe it's COVID. Hope not. I'm fully vaccinated, so that would be very odd odds for that to happen. But I think I just got some sort of head cold, that's going around, and it just really made me feel really wonky bonkers yesterday. I didn't like it at all. I feel much better today. But I hated the feeling and I hated that I couldn't get rid of it and that my head was just like swimming all day. So, because of that, I made some very poor choices to try to balance out the way I was feeling. Let's go back 2 days first. 2 days ago, I had my typical taco. I'm not going to explain again what's all involved in it. Every day I say what I eat on my taco. But I had no guac on it. However, 2 days ago, I was making another vat, if you will, um, about 4 pounds of ground turkey and making it into and mixing it with the taco seasoning to put it in a bowl so it's ready for me to make my tacos every day. And I did some snacking, cheating along the way. So I probably ate double the amount of meat I normally eat. in a day. And I had one of those beef sticks, which, mind you, I went back and looked, and they have no additional sugars added at all, which is good. Um, so it literally has zero carbs and zero net sugars in it, and it is just beef. Again, it is a beef stick, so there's some processing involved in it, but um, probably the worst thing about it is it probably has a higher sodium content because it's closer to more of a lunch meat, which they want you to avoid on this diet and stick with the other meats better. Especially they want grass fed meats and all that stuff, but I don't go to that extreme. I should, but I don't know, it's just pricey. Um, all right, so a little bit more than the day before. The day before, I just had a taco with guac. I lost 1.1 that day. Okay, I don't think there's a direct correlation in these days, but I'm just letting you know in general what I've been eating. So that's what I ate that day, and I lost zero point 0.4 pounds. And I was like, okay, coming off a day of minus 1.1, zero point 0.4 is good. I kept saying, I mean, I would be so thrilled if I could lose 4 pounds this week because that would be more than a half a pound a day. I'm not on track for that at all because I lost zero point 0.2 and zero point 0.1, and then I gained 0.11. So, like, I don't think I'm going to be losing 4 pounds this week, but we'll see. So then yesterday was my huge fall off, and I had my taco as I normally do, but I had no guac, I had no corn, just the meat, splattering of a little bit of mozzarella cheese and a ton of lettuce. And then later on, when I was going through this whole thing, I mentioned I had those keto nuts. And then when I felt like I needed to balance it out, I had two chicken nuggets that were sitting on my island all day today. My husband cooked a whole 2 pans of chicken nuggets for he and my son, I guess, to just, put some in the refrigerator to warm up later. Um, and I was really good, and I just didn't even look at them, didn't do anything. But like all of a sudden, when I was like feeling like this, and I'm like, I need protein, I need protein, I need protein. And I walk in the kitchen, and there's a half a pan still sitting there on the oven of chicken nuggets. I took them. They were cold at this point. Well, not cold, but they weren't warm anymore. They were like room temperature. Didn't care. Tasted like heaven. Didn't regret it for a second. Both of those nuggets were so good. I normally don't like chicken nuggets at all because they don't taste like chicken. I don't know what they taste like. Processed something. So good. And I felt much better after that. Much better. I'm like, okay, I did need some protein. That wasn't the protein I should have chosen, but it was the first thing I saw, and I was feeling like crap, and I wanted to go back up and go back to bed. Later in the day, so I took another nap. Later in the day, I got up and I had that protein craving again, and I went and I got a mozzarella cheese stick again. Not on protocol, and I already have some mozzarella cheese on my taco. And a mozzarella cheese stick is going to have more cheese than even what I put on my taco. So, um, had that. So I was very, very, very worried about the scale today because I didn't go to the gym yesterday at all, and then I ate like this. But today's scale said minus zero point 0.4. So there you go. An indication that your eating one day is not a direct correlation of what you see on the scale the next day, unless you're accounting for water retention or you eat some really heavy foods and you haven't had any elimination happening, and so it's still in your intestines. So there you go. It has been quite a few days since I've had a bowel movement. I keep track of those on here too, and that makes me happy because I feel like I am due for a nice little loss coming up here soon. The amount of food I eat on this diet is so minuscule versus the amount that my body is using that, yeah, they just don't happen that often. Okay, let me go ahead and get to our topic for today. So, where am I overall? I am 13 days in and down 9.9 pounds. I wish I could say 10, but 9.9. But that's good. That's good. All right. I was going to talk today about other reasons for weight gain. And before I do, I'm just going to touch on this one topic. There's a whole paragraph here all about cosmetics. And it's very lengthy and there's lots of like side stories and all that kind of stuff. I'm just going to like read the first paragraph and that gives you the gist of what he's trying to say. First, one possible reason for weight gain in some people are the use of cosmetics, which, in all honesty, we're going to say cosmetics, anything topical that you put on your skin. So this is going to include lotions and creams and all that kind of stuff that you would put on your arms and legs as well. All right, he writes, when no dietary air is elicited, we turn to cosmetics. Most women find it hard to believe that fats, oils, creams, and ointments applied to the skin are absorbed and interfere with weight reduction by HCG just as if they had been eaten. This almost incredibly sensitivity to even such very minor increases in nutritional intake is a peculiar feature of the HCG method. For instance, we find that persons who habitually handle organic fats, such as workers in beauty parlors, masseuses, butchers, etc., never show what we consider a satisfactory loss of weight until they can avoid fat coming into contact with their skin. All right. I had one lady earlier in my channel say this is totally her. That one day she was preparing salmon. She didn't eat any of it. She made it for her family. But she was handling it and all that stuff, and then she had a gain on the scale the next day. And she said she is highly sensitive and she cannot use any lotions in that, or she will not lose weight. This is not my experience. I will, when I have dry legs, put lotion on them because it drives me nuts. And if my arms are dry, I'll put lotion on. I put a little bit of foundation, so I do have some on my face as well because I teach online and I have the lights and I don't want to scare the children. um, and it doesn't seem to make a difference to me. What I will say, which is not addressed in the protocol, um, and that I notice is that the other day when I was putting lotion on and I realized how many times I squirted the bottle to completely lotion all my arms and legs, and they were really dry legs at the time, so I was putting extra on. I started thinking about the fact, where did all that go? That all got absorbed into my skin. So, although I don't think it's preventing me from fat loss, what I am cognizant of is the weight of that lotion bottle is really heavy. So by squirting all this out and keep squirting it out and putting it on, I am literally putting some weight into my body as it absorbs into my skin and it takes it in. Does that make sense? So there you go. And he doesn't mention that at all, but that has to be accounted for in some way, right? Every little bit out when we're measuring fractions of a pound, every little bit can contribute. So keep that in mind, I would say. And then we're going to move on more specifically to other reasons he has here for weight gain. And he says, apart from diet and cosmetics, there can be a few other reasons for a small rise in weight. Some patients unwittingly take chewing gum, throat lozenges, vitamin pills, cough syrups, etc., without realizing that the sugar or fats that they contain may interfere with a regular loss of weight. Sex hormones, or cortisone, in its various modern forms must be avoided, though oral contraceptives are permitted. In fact, the only self medication we allow is aspirin for a headache, though headaches most invariably disappear after a week of treatment, particularly if of the migraine type. Occasionally, we allow a sleeping tablet or a tranquilizer, but patients should be told that while under treatment, they need and may get less sleep. I don't find that to be true, but okay. For instance, here in Italy, where it is customary to sleep during a siesta, which lasts from 1 to 4 hours in the afternoon, or from 1 to 4, which I guess is 3 hours, in the afternoon, most patients find that though they lie down, they are unable to sleep. We encourage swimming and sunbathing during treatment, but it should be remembered that a severe sunburn always produces a temporary rise in weight, evidently due to water retention. The same may be seen when a patient gets a common cold during treatment. Finally, the weight can temporarily increase, paradoxical though it may sound, after an exceptional physical exertion of long duration, leading to a feeling of exhaustion. A game of tennis, a vigorous swim, a run, a ride on horseback, or a round of golf do not have this effect. But a long trek, a day of skiing, rowing, or cycling, or dancing into the small hours usually result in a gain of weight on the following day, unless the patient is in perfect training. In patients coming from abroad, where they always use their cars, we often see this effect after a strenuous day of shopping on foot, sightseeing, and visits to galleries and museums. Though the extra muscular effort involved does consume some additional calories, this appears to be offset by the retention of water, which the tired circulation cannot at once eliminate. All right. So he is saying that anything you do extreme vigorous exercise, say you go to an amusement park for the day, you're there at 9 o'clock in the morning, you're leaving 9 o'clock at night, so you have 12 hours on your feet standing, walking, running, riding, just, really, it can be exhausting. And you may see a gain on the scale the next day, not related to this is assuming you're not eating a bunch of park food. But all things being equal, if you ate the same, then that would be due to water retention, that your body tends to retain water. So that is why the scale would go up. He also indicates that there's sugars in lots of little things that you don't think about that are in there that'll affect it. So, all right, just reading to you what the protocol says. Take this information, use it at will to make your own decisions and figure out what's best for you. Me personally, well, I mean, I don't chew gum that often, but if I do, I usually have sugar-free gum anyway. So it's not an issue, and I don't suck on throat lozenges or any other candies. Every now and then, like once a month, I'll have like a butterscotch hard candy, but those are sugar-free as well. So none of that really applies to me. The whole vigorous exercise thing doesn't come into play. Although it may this summer, I do have an amusement park pass, and so there may be a few days this summer where my body is going to feel um, swollen, I guess, due to water retention the day afterwards. All right, all of a sudden I just got really depressed thinking that summer's coming up and I am at a weight still about 5 to 10 pounds over where normally I would say I need to go on HCG and lose weight. I just got really depressed for a second. Right when you think you're doing well. I am doing well. I lost almost 10 pounds. All right. Any comments you have, please feel free to put them down below. I respond to everybody who has a comment to say, or if you have any questions. If you have anything in particular you want me to talk about, let me know that too. And please like and subscribe my videos so that I don't feel so lonely. And I know at least one or two people out there are appreciating these. Okay. Can you tell all of a sudden my mood got down when I realized? All right, stay the course, stay the course. That's why we're on HCG, right? This is the diet that works. All right, I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye.